Welcome back to another episode of Z to Z. We are at episode 13. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. Before we continue with the show, I want to give my daughter a special birthday shout out. She turns 18 today, and really how time flies for sure. It's a major milestone for her. Honey, have a beautiful day. Hugs and kisses from your dad. Well, today is a big day also for Z to Z. We have Nick Maldonado, CEO of TORO Taxes, a good friend whom I truly respect, and I am honored to have him on the show. So let's get started. Thank you again for joining us at Z2Z.com. I'm really excited again to have Nick Maldonado, the CEO of TORO Taxes, with us today. I'm really excited again, like I said, to have him. It's been a little bit to get him on the show. He's a busy guy and running a large franchise organization from across the country. It tends to keep his time. So Nick, welcome.
Louis, thank you for having me, and my apologies. I know it's been a scheduling conflict, but considering the industry, this is the busiest time of the year. But nonetheless, I've been eager to get on here with you and support what you're doing. And not to get sidetracked, but before we get started, I just want to congratulate you and encourage more listeners. A lot of people pay a lot of money for all this information that you're just putting out there. And knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is expensive. You're helping everybody, and not only that, but giving people an inside look into franchisees and franchisors alike. So congratulations on that, Louis.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me coming from you. That really does. It is, and it is. It's one of the dreams that I've had for a long time to do, and I appreciate the fact that I have the support from people like yourself to make it happen for others, because it gives the opportunity for others to really understand what franchising is all about, as a new prospective franchisee, and I know that going into it myself, when I was going into this, I wish that I had a platform that I could have gone to and just listen to it and understand what the do's and don'ts of all this was, and then talking to people like yourself from the franchisor's perspective is have that look and feel of what it is to be a franchisor and what the expectations are that they have internally, as well as what they have for their franchisees, man. So again, man, welcome. I'm so glad to have you on. There's so much to talk about. We could probably stay here for at least a few hours, but we can't. And just to let our listeners know, Nick and I have a long-standing relationship. I consider him a dear friend. One of my best friends in the industry and is outside of the industry as well. So that way it means that this means a lot to me to have him on. But I kind of, for my listeners, I kind of want you guys to understand exactly the journey that he had. It's a long journey, and again, we don't have the 2-3 hours of time that would probably take to go through this and go through it all. But Nick, tell us a little bit of the history of TORO and how it started.
Yeah, so TORO Taxes, obviously by the name, we are a tax preparation company, the largest and fastest growing Latino franchise in the United States, proudly but humbly speaking. TORO Taxes was founded in 2010, and really it's created to fill in a necessity that was missing. The tax preparation industry has been here forever and probably going to be here forever, right? Everybody has to pay taxes. Right. Yeah. But there was a missing part there. There was no representation for the Latino market. You have H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, all these brands, but nobody was there specifically tending to this underserved yet fastest growing population in the United States. And that's where TORO Taxes steps in.
Right. Yeah. And it was important because, you would think that if, like you said, taxes have been a part of this, obviously, of our country since its early beginnings. But yet there wasn't anything really out there to focus on the Hispanic demographic. And you grabbed that and you ran with it, man. I mean, I know that it's been a while, right, to us, but it seemed like it was just yesterday almost, all the stuff that you got, gone through. So, so now that you got it started and I'm assuming that you have partners, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have two. I have two partners. My partner Oscar Toro and myself founded the company originally back in 2010. And again, just to share a little bit more history about the company, and we started off just. As a matter of fact, we started off right after the crash of the real estate market. I've been in real estate since the age of 19. I just turned 40 now, so that gives you a little bit of a timeline of how long. And I've been in the real estate market, and when the crash happened, as a matter of fact, I'll give you guys a little bit more history. At that time, when the real estate market crashed, we were already successful. We had purchased a small building between four partners at that given moment. One of us did real estate, that was me. Another one did travel. Another one did mortgages. And the fourth one did taxes. But when the real estate market crashed, nobody was buying properties. Nobody could sell properties because everything was upside down. So I wasn't doing any business. Our mortgage partner wasn't getting any mortgage transactions. Nobody was traveling because everybody was broke. It was a recession. The only one really making money and had people lined out the door, especially because of the advances on tax refunds and whatnot, was our partner in the tax industry. So I kind of saw the light right there. My partner and I we started preparing taxes. But then I saw I had a vision, right? This is not going to end, and we are underrepresented. So Oscar and I began to open more and more offices. I'll fast forward a little bit to 2019, where we ran into one of our competitors. At that moment was the original and longest lasting Latino franchise by the name of Los Taxes. Yep. Los Taxes and TORO Taxes in June of 2019 merged to become the largest Latino tax franchise in the United States overnight, giving us coverage from the West to the East Coast, where we now cover 24 states. That person is Javier Solis. So now currently the three partners, co-founders and executive board, myself, my partner Oscar Toro, and my third partner and newest, Javier Solis.
Yeah. I remember that story. I don't know if you remember this, Nick, when we were at we were flying down to go see Inter Nicola Law, the franchise attorneys out in New York. And we were I was on the computer sitting next to you. And for some odd reason, I always got the middle seat, man. I don't understand that. Anyways, I was in the middle seat, and then I said, "Hey, Nick, we gotta check out this Los Taxes, and then kind of went from there, and you made the connection, and here we are today, So, but what drove you to decide to go into franchising?
Yeah, that part's I kind of fell into it, Louis. To be quite honest, I mean. At the beginning, and it was a way to help not only our company grow and that part of the vision, but our employees, the people that work for us, wanted to expand their wings and go and open up, go into business for themselves. And the way it started was, as some of my preparers wanted to leave, essentially, I said, well, why are you going to leave? Let me help you. Why are you going to go start all over again by yourself? Let me open up, let me finance it. Let me give you our systems, and let's do it together, and we'll be partners. So the first handful of stores were just good old-fashioned 50-50s where we partnered up with our employees. What happened was, after a while, our employees kind of thought that was just the way things worked, and everybody wanted me to go and finance a new office and help them expand or what have you. So then we decided, listen, it's okay, we'll still do it, but we're going to put a price tag on it because it's also taking, some of our resources. So we started to charge or collect a fee for that right to license out our name and et cetera. It got to the point where it was really starting to get traction. So I went to see an attorney and, get some advice and revisit our contracts. And he tells me, Nick, I don't think you realize this, but you are franchising. And, So we spent the time, the money, the energy to really formalize things. But before actually heading out there to really promote franchising and expand more offices, I started looking into what some of the bigger Anglo companies were doing, or at least Anglo focused. I'm sorry, mine is the niche Latino market. And I started mimicking that, right? Creating support systems, training systems, right. That sort of thing. And then I really went full-fledged into franchising.
Yeah. Well, that was a great strategy for you because they like you said, they could have done one or two things. One, gone out and started things on their own. Okay. Or two, they would have went to your competitor, so why have them do that when you can potentially give them the options to continue to work with you, but under your brand and everybody benefiting, right? So it's good strategy, man. Really, really good strategy. And then so one of the things that always also intrigue me is how that fundamentally how the franchisors structure their business, right? And there's like I said, there's not so good franchisors. Are more some of these franchisors are interested in royalty fees, right? Which again is an important part of the business. It's an important part. You need that. You need royalties to survive. But there's also good franchisors that are focused on creating loyal customers, right? And boosting brand awareness. So how do you see that happening with Toro?
Great question, Louis. And I would like to consider ourselves a good franchisor, right? We're doing something right. We're
Right.
growing, and everything points to growth and expansion. TORO Taxes, we try to keep our franchise fee low. The ideology behind that is we are not looking to make money off of our franchisee. Our job as a franchisor is not to prepare taxes. It is to strengthen our franchisee, to make them more successful. So we keep our franchise fee low, our entry fee low, our operational costs as low as possible, so that we don't profit off of them, and instead we help them become successful. And then we, of course, profit off of royalties. Royalties are a very important factor in franchising. That's how the entire concept works. However, to answer your question, royalties versus brand awareness, we actually have amongst the lowest royalty fees in any industry, I believe, but compensate that lower royalty by charging a slightly higher marketing fee, so we can reinvest that directly in our franchisees. So a lower royalty, so that we are able to collect a higher marketing contribution or marketing budget contribution, which we then reinvest directly in our local markets where our franchisees are located. We're big believers in marketing, and I think that's a huge advantage that we have. We are a Latino company owned by Latinos, which means we understand our customer, we understand our cultures, the foods we like, how we think, etc. So we're able to target them directly, and thereby make our franchisees more successful, which in turn keeps us growing.
Yeah, one thing that stood out in your answer is that a lot of franchisors, they ultimately do understand this, but it takes them a little bit to get it. And what you said is that you as a franchisor, you went from doing taxes and being a tax company to now being a franchisor, which is a totally different thing, a totally different mind shift that you have to have as a franchisor, because you're a franchisor that does taxes. You're not a tax company that does franchising, right? So understanding that is pivotal in becoming that great franchisor that a lot of people are going to want to be attracted to. And it's great that you're putting the funds and creating great unit economics for your franchisees through marketing. And putting your efforts and time and money. I mean, I know firsthand what you do in marketing, and you guys do it very, very well. I mean, with ToroCon that happens every year, to whatever happens in between with the advertising and the social media advertising and all that you do, it's great, and it does increase that level of unit economics for your franchisees. Which, if your franchisees are successful, guess what, man? TORO Taxes is as a company, as a franchisor, is successful.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, talking about that, so what drives new prospective Z's to Toro, man? What is that? What I don't want you to reveal the secret sauce, but don't tell us the secret sauce. But what is it you think the new prospective franchisees are gravitating towards Toro now?
I was going to ask if somebody put you up to ask me that.
Yeah. Paid me a lot of money, man.
No, look, we're very active. We're doing things differently, and frankly, we're the only. Again, I keep repeating this because that's a niche, and I think that's important for anybody. Whether you're a franchisee looking to be a part of you're a business owner looking to join a franchise, or a business owner looking to become a franchisor. It's important to find your niche. We have ours. We found ours, and it's very hard to compete with us. It's even for another company to try to replicate what we do. It's tough because we found our niche.
Yeah.
What's driving us? We're very active in conventions, not only all over the United States, but also in Latin America, promoting the business, the franchise model. And we created it in a way where you do not have to be a CPA. You don't have to be a financial expert or a math whiz to join us. Any entrepreneur can become a part of the system because of the training and infrastructure that we put in place. So it's very easy to become a part of us with zero background. It's also very relatively inexpensive in comparison to any other very successful franchises. But you go into the restaurant business, for example, the inventory, the build out, the equipment, the employees, it's very expensive to start and very expensive to operate. Our model is built completely different. So that is attractive, not to just somebody in the tax industry, but to an entrepreneur in general terms. And of course, we're, aside from the conventions, we're very active in lead generation and the way that we're able to, put the brand in front of a potential entrepreneur or franchise prospect. And once we actually have them in front of us, if you present the idea, it makes sense. If you are a business person, it simply makes sense.
Yeah. So tell our listeners how many. I know that I heard through the grapevine that you guys achieved a milestone. How many units do you currently have now?
I fell 3 units short of that milestone. I'm at 247 active units. 247 active units currently as of right now, as of 8 days ago.
All right.
Well, 2023. But our projected growth is at approximately 96 units per year moving forward.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So if there's anybody out there who's looking for a franchise, call up TORO Taxes, man. They help them reach their goal, and they'll treat you right for sure. Nick, and I know this is more at the C-suite level type of question is, but for you, what do you think is the most challenging aspect of running a large franchise like yourselves? I mean, you've gone from this 1 or 2 to now 247 and growing. There's got to be some challenging things about that.
Absolutely, and there's several, right? From a franchisor perspective, I'll give you a couple of those largest challenges that I've dealt with. One is the growing pains, right? And growing pains happen at any level, whether you're a small company, a small business, a mom and pop, or a large organization. Yeah. So companies much larger than I that I've had the privilege to sit down with CEOs of other large companies, and it's always the same, right? But from the franchisor perspective, it's that balance as you grow. You cannot add too many franchises to your system if you're not prepared with the infrastructure to help them, to support them, the training, the support, and everything that goes on behind the scenes, from accounting to administration. Right. You can't, if you grow too fast, you're not going to be able to support them or give them the tools that they need to be successful, which will in turn give you a bad name as a franchisor. Right. On the other hand, you can't grow your internal systems or your internal teams too fast, or your overhead will go through the roof. And you won't. It's that careful balance as you grow. So that's always a challenge. It takes a lot of management and just keeping a close eye on those finances and your growth.
Right. And equally that goes hand in hand with the franchisee's business. I mean, really, as the franchisee explores, that the concept and goes through the process, they're feeling the same, maybe not as much as you would, as you're running a large franchise as you are, but franchisees experience that same thing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. You want to hire all the best talent and all the best employees, even at a franchisee level, or get the biggest, most beautiful office and the best equipment, but you don't have as much clientele to help offset that investment yet. Or the other way around, you have so many people coming in the doors, you don't have enough people to service them. Think about when you go to a local restaurant where the food is great and they're slammed with people and it's a busy Saturday night, but they're short-staffed and the service sucks. So it's a very careful balance, no matter how you look at it.
No, for sure. And so in that scenario, what does TORO Taxes franchise do in that case when a franchisee calls you up and say, I got this problem?
That is exactly what we do as a franchisor. Again, I don't care if you're a pizza company, you don't sell pizzas, you make sure that your franchisee is able to sell pizzas and do it profitably with good customer service.
Right.
We have a great system in place as far as franchisee support goes. And that's, I don't mean to drift off into, but going back to your question, the biggest challenge is keeping everybody happy, right? You have 247 franchisees, or at least units. Each one of those franchisees has different managers, different employees, and it's very hard to keep everybody in line. Another challenge is making sure, you got people that join your franchise system but want to do things their own way. Well, that's the complete opposite of joining a franchise system.
Right.
But to answer your question, what do? We actually have we're very open from the C-suite all the way down. Every franchisee has my personal cell phone number. So if the things don't get resolved, what they're supposed to resolve, they call me or my partners and we jump in. We're very, very close. We're very much on the ground floor.
That's impressive. I mean, I'm telling you, I know a few CEOs out there of large franchises, and none of them hardly offer that opportunity to talk with them on a one-on-one basis, let alone having their personal cell number. That's to be commended, my man. That's impressive right there. To say the least. Yeah. So let me another question here, and it's probably a little bit more of a deeper question, I guess, as well. But so what does it mean to you and the Toro brand to be known as the largest Hispanic-based franchise in the country, and what is Toro doing to keep that in the forefront, man? I mean, congratulations, buddy. I mean, I got to tell you, I've seen you grow, and to be known as the largest Hispanic-based franchise, man. I mean, are you driving a Lamborghini yet? I don't know, or that.
Sure. Not quite. We keep reinvesting in our growth. Well, thank you for that, Louis. But I mean, how can you not be proud, right? How can it not, in the best way said possible, but how can it not feed your ego a little bit, right? I mean, we put in the work, we put in those long hours, the sweat and tears, and it pays off. And I think that says a lot to our franchisees. It delivers that message. It's working and we're growing. But it's not just about us or the brand or the name or the ego, none of that. Louis, we are changing lives. We're able to turn average entrepreneurs or people that have a dream into very successful people. Mm-hmm. We're changing their families' lives. We're sending their kids to college in a world where underserved Latino markets and Latino entrepreneurs are not able to we're changing generations. I guess that's the best way that I can put it. We are changing generations, and that is what means the most to me. We are making people successful.
Yeah, the Hispanic culture is, we're very, very, very hardworking people, and but yet sometimes we as a community we fail to ask, we fail to research, and when we do, we depend and we trust a lot on others, right? And so sometimes our community depends and trusts on others that they shouldn't. And so I think this is where you come in, is I think you and there's a great entrepreneur program. I mean, great entrepreneur community that we have within the Hispanic market. And you tapped into that, and you are able to allow them to give them the right information to achieve their dreams. And I'm sure that there is probably countless stories which I want to one day get into that with some of the franchisees, but where they started their humble beginnings and where they are now because of the Toro brand, the Toro model that you created between you and Oscar and now Javier, obviously, to really change lives, like you said, and that's impressive. I mean, that really makes a big difference in the community world, and I think that more and more of the Hispanic community, we are the largest, and this, Nick. Hispanic community is the largest minority demographic in the country now.
Largest and fastest growing demographic in the country. And you know what? I just want to clarify something for other listeners. I keep going back to that. It's our niche market. It's where we found we found our success. But we have people in our system from all backgrounds of the earth, both on the franchisee to the client levels. We'll service anybody, right? That just happens to be who we target because it's what's worked for us.
Right. No, that's something great to know. Note. I mean, obviously there is no barriers here. We service TORO Taxes services everyone there. So, so going back to our Latino community and to the community in general. So, what type of community outreach programs does TORO participate in or have internally?
What type of what programs? I'm sorry.
Community outreach programs.
Oh, you know what? Well, thank you, Louis. Well, we're very proud of our nonprofit foundation. As a matter of fact, Google just awarded us a $10,000 monthly grant, amongst many other grants. But
All
it's
right,
exciting
congratulations.
to grab so much traction. Our nonprofit foundation, TORO Cares, which is basically created. Our mission is to give back to the communities in which we do business in. We have programs where many of our franchisees are involved in, and they give back a percentage of every dollar that comes in, or I'm sorry, of every a contribution for every single tax return that they file goes into this fund. And then we're able to go back and do everything from toy drives to turkey drives right now in Thanksgiving, which are the fresh ones in my mind because we just passed the holidays. All the way back, I mean, we've actually helped people get back their prosthetic limbs. We helped 30 people last year. So there's a lot of, we do give back a lot, and I'm very proud of that. That part of our organization, TORO Cares.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. So they can probably check it out at torotaxes.com or
this one's actually, because it's a nonprofit, it's actually torocares.org.
All right. Well, check it out, guys. torocares.org, and they're doing a great mission to and outreach to the community. So that's great. Congratulations on that. I know that I seen that at ToroCon, and I was impressed by what you've done and what your team has done in that regard. So I mean, you had all these achievements that have come throughout the years, and not without blood, sweat, and tears, right? So what do you think, Nick, has been your biggest achievement in franchising?
Our biggest achievement in franchising. Well, I mean, I say it over and over again: largest, fastest growing. And to circle back to what I said, I have franchisees that literally come in tears, in a happy tears, and thank you. I just bought the building in which I started working in, or where I started my franchise in 6 years ago or 7 years ago. Or thanks to you, my son just graduated college. That sort of stuff is very, very touching. From a professional standpoint, we were, again, and I know I think this will be released right after it's okay to say this podcast, but we were just made the list of the top 500 franchises by Entrepreneur Magazine for the second year in a row. We've also been named top 5,000 companies in US and Canada by Inc. Magazine. So, I mean, those are things that I'm very excited and proud about, because it was a dream of mine to appear in these magazines one day, and here we are, happening, living in real life.
That's great. Look at guys, breaking news on Z2Z.com. TORO Taxes gets the most, was 500 best 500 businesses.
Top 500 franchises.
Top 500 franchises in America. That's great. Breaking news, Z2Z.com. That is fantastic, man. I mean, I know you and your partners have like I said, done a lot of work and to achieve this thing. This stuff does not happen overnight. A lot of work, a lot of pivoting, a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, a lot of traveling, a lot on the plane, things like that. And I've had the opportunity to see you grow throughout the years, and always was impressed with the work that you've done and how you do it, and how do you keep it all together, man? I don't know, but that's probably for a whole other segment right there. But yeah. So about that now. So what's next for Nick? Nick, what is it that you want to do? What's next? I mean, you've accomplished this. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm very, I think one of my, how can I say this? I'm very keen on projections and knowing where the company is headed. Where am I headed as a person? I am very diverse, Louis. There's a lot of things that I'm involved in outside of this.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm 100% focused on TORO Taxes, continuing its growth.
I think that, Nick, I mean, anybody who knows you knows that you're not stagnant. There's always going to be great things coming from you, and whatever you do, I know they're going to be great things. So, and one of the things that I always end, and I know that we're running out of time here, running on about 40 minutes closely on the call, but I always ask, and I always end this question and ask especially every executive like yourself, but really, what makes a great Z?
What makes a great Z? A franchisee?
Yes, sir.
That is a great question, Louis. Obviously, I'm a franchisor, but to be a great Z, you have to. If you're joining a franchise organization, you sign the franchise agreement. You are joining a family. So live it, absorb it, follow the system. Do not join a company if you're not going to follow it 100%, because it defeats the purpose completely. Own the brand as if it was yours, as if you created it, as if you are the founder. Follow the vision of the executive team, because that is why you joined it. I think that's what makes a great franchisee. That's what makes the entire system successful. That's what creates the franchise system. That is a great Z to me, somebody that's dedicated and takes the brand to heart.
Well, wise words from a superior executive, somebody who I admire and trust. That you're exactly right. Follow the model. That is the consistent tone that every executive, franchise or executive has, and so I appreciate that very, very much, Nick. Thank you again for being on the show. I really, truly, it's an honor to have you on there, and we'll definitely see more stuff from you, more exciting things, and if you have any breaking news, come to z2z.com and you could talk about it here.
Absolutely. Hey, Louis, before we disconnect, I just want to, for the public to know as well, Louis, he's a great friend of mine, and he's actually helped me a lot along the way. He has so much knowledge in the franchise industry, all the credentials that I won't steal that thunder from him. But Louis, I want to publicly thank you for helping me and all the advice that you've given me and the insight into the franchise industry along the way. And I'm happy to support this as well. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Louis. Thank you.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nick, for taking the time out to be on Z2Z. It is much appreciated, sir. As always, you can go to z2z.com. That's www.z2zee.com to listen to our previous podcasts, or on your favorite podcast platform, and of course on Spotify as well. I always like to end the show with a favorite quote. Change is a person's ability to take others where they have never been and repeat the process until change becomes the normal. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.